Hey, welcome. So, most of the AI we use every day, the chatbots, the image generators, it's all designed to answer our questions. But today, we're going to look at the blueprint for what's coming next. We're talking about AI that doesn't just answer, it acts.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Right now, our AI chats are basically a Q&A session. We ask, it answers. Simple. But what if you could tell an AI, hey, plan a weekend trip to the coast for me, and it didn't just give you ideas. It actually went ahead and booked the hotel, reserved a rental car, and found the best seafood spots. Now that's the huge leap we're talking about, from answering to acting.
And that right there is what we call an AI agent. You see, unlike a standard model that just kind of sits there waiting for you to type something, an agent is proactive. It's aware of its environment, the digital world. It has a goal, like planning that trip, and it takes all the necessary steps to actually get the job done. Here's probably the best way to picture it. A regular AI, it's like a massive library, just full of all the information in the world. An AI agent, on the other hand, is the librarian. You don't just ask where the books are. You tell them what you need, and they go and fetch the books, find the exact pages, and even suggest other resources you never would have thought of. They're actively working to solve your problem. So, what really makes an agent tick? How does it all work? Well, it all starts with a blueprint. So let's roll out those plans and walk through the architectural patterns, the absolute core components that bring an intelligent AI agent to life.
All right, first things first. Every building needs a solid foundation and strong beams. For an AI agent, that foundation is its core toolkit. These are the absolute essential patterns it needs to even begin to think and act. First up, we've got something called prompt chaining. The best way to think about this is like an assembly line for a thought. Instead of trying to solve a huge, complex problem all at once, the agent breaks it down into tiny, manageable pieces. It solves step one, then uses that answer to figure out step two, and it just keeps chaining them together until, boom, it has a complete solution. Next up is routing. An agent can't just use the same approach for everything, right? Routing is basically its brain for making decisions. It looks at a request and asks itself, okay, what's the best tool for this job? It knows not to just guess the answer to a math problem, it routes it to a calculator for a perfect answer. This is absolutely crucial for building agents you can actually rely on. And all that routing needs to lead somewhere. That's where tool use comes in. This is what gives the agent its hands, letting it actually do things in the digital world. We're talking about searching the web, running code, plugging into your calendar through an API, or even reading a PDF you give it. Without tools, an agent is just thinking. With them, it's acting. Okay, so we've got the foundation laid. Now it's time to build up. It's time to give this agent a proper brain. These next few patterns are what add in that sophisticated intelligence, like having a memory and, this is a big one, the ability to self-correct.
So imagine you ask an agent to book a flight for next Tuesday. A simple, kind of dumb agent might just go right ahead with that initial plan. Okay, book in flight for Tuesday. But what if there's a much better way? This is where the magic of reflection comes in. A more advanced agent can actually pause, take a look at its own plan, and critique it. It can spot flaws. It might realize, hang on, Tuesday's a holiday, the airport is going to be a nightmare, and then it revises its own plan. This ability to self-correct is a giant leap towards AI that's genuinely helpful. And of course, a brain isn't much good without memory, right? Well, agents manage memory in different layers. You've got the short-term memory, that's just remembering what you said 2 seconds ago. Then there's a medium-term memory that can summarize your last few conversations, and the real game changer is the long-term memory, which holds on to those core facts about you, like knowing you always prefer an aisle seat. But what happens when the agent gets stuck? Or it's about to do something really important, like, I don't know, spend your money? That's where the human-in-the-loop pattern comes in. It's basically a built-in pause button. The agent stops and asks you for the green light. It's an absolutely vital feature for safety and, honestly, for just working together.
And that brings us to a super critical part of this whole blueprint. How do we make sure these agents operate safely and effectively out in the real world, especially when they start working together?
Well, the answer starts with something called guardrails. Just think of these as the agent's conscience. They are hard-coded, non-negotiable rules that prevent it from going off the rails. They make sure it acts responsibly, protects your private info, and stays focused. Safety isn't just a feature here, it's baked right into the architecture from the very beginning.
Now check this out. Not every big job has to be done by one single agent. For really complex goals, you can have a whole team of specialized agents. You could have a research agent that gathers info, then passes it to an analyst agent to pull out key insights, who then hands it all off to a writer agent to draft a report. This kind of communication allows for an incredibly powerful, collaborative way to solve problems.
But here's the thing. Once an agent, or even a whole team of them, is out there working, the job isn't done. You can't just set it and forget it. We have to constantly monitor their performance. Are they completing their tasks successfully, 95% of the time, 99%? This continuous evaluation is absolutely essential for making them more reliable and effective over time. So let's step back for a second. When we put all these patterns together, the core tools, the brain, the memory, the safety features, what do we really get? What we get is a very clear picture of the future and of how we're all going to be interacting with technology. The shift that we're all seeing happen right now is, well, it's profound. We're moving from information AI, which is powerful but pretty passive, to agentic AI. We're evolving from systems that just give us information to systems that actually complete tasks. It's a transformation from a tool we use into a partner we can delegate to. And at the end of the day, these design patterns aren't just some abstract, theoretical ideas. They are the fundamental, real-world building blocks for this next wave of AI. These are the components engineers are using right now to create systems that are more capable, more autonomous, and frankly, a lot more useful. So as this blueprint for essentially artificial minds really starts coming together, it leaves us with a pretty deep question. We're on the verge of giving AI the power not just to know things, but to do things. The real question is, what should we ask them to build? What kind of future do we want them to help us create?